hello. Joanne, it's great. We're here. We're going to have a little chit chat on money mindset. So yeah, tell me a little bit about you, what you do, and how money mindset shows up with your clients.
Hi, thanks for the invite. I'm an AAT qualified and licensed bookkeeper, and my role is to help businesses stay organised and compliant and on top of their finances so they can make decisions confidently. And I have experience working in both corporate finance within a finance team, but also with smaller SMEs. And in the corporate world of finance, a large area that money mindset show up, in my experience, is during credit control tasks, so chasing late payments. And that's most evident when chasing payment for like smaller clients, to be honest. And I would also say that it's evident when actually dealing with the client themselves, when it's a smaller company in general. That seems to be the case. It's only because money mindsets are easy to see in those cases because the business owner generally has to deal with the finances themselves. They don't have a team dealing with them. So it's quite easy to see the patterns, basically. And one of the biggest patterns that I see is avoidance. Um, whether it be clients avoiding looking at their finances entirely or just avoiding responding to emails. It's not because they don't care. It's usually because it's just being uncomfortable and overwhelmed with the situation. Because finances for some people can feel a bit scary. And many small businesses in various industries often also have an element of embarrassment, especially around records. Like with clients that have backlogs, they're usually quite embarrassed, but they don't tend to try to get things sorted before it gets quite bad. And they'll say things like, oh, it's a mess, I should have got this sorted sooner. But there's often a deep sense of self-judgment, I find. So being disorganized equates to failure in some way, which it doesn't, obviously. Yeah, so yeah, that would be for me the main money mindset around money would be avoidance, but particularly with smaller business owners, just because they're the ones that have to deal with it and it isn't something they do every day. It's not like large corporate companies who have specific finance departments.
That's it. That makes so much sense. From where I sit, like with as a self-belief and mindset coach, the money side of things, it's such a big part of our life. It's so important, particularly for those small business owners as well, where they're having to do everything. It becomes such a centralized thing, and we attach so much importance to it. So it's only natural to have a bit of a thinking about it. But it's really interesting because the money side of things, we have so much thinking about it, whether it's the money itself, whether we're looking at it from a point of view of like status or image or success, which definitely ties into to what you're saying from a business point of view, like the success of how I'm managing my money. We tie so much of our identity up in that. And then we've got thinking around spending and around saving money and what we do with it and what we spend it on. And there's just so much. It's quite a minefield, really. But what you're pointing to, I think, is really interesting, because that avoidance side of things, it's like what you said about that it can be scary. And so because we've got this thinking about what money might mean and what it represents and what it means to have it and not have it and to be organized with it, that suddenly becomes this big, scary, overwhelming type of thing. And so we want to naturally avoid that, because our body is designed in such a way that it's trying to protect ourselves. And so we're going away from this threat that money potentially poses to us. But I think also what's interesting in what you were saying is around shame, because that is such a huge thing with money, with everything. And we really don't want to experience that feeling. So we try to squash everything down in a way to try and avoid that. So that makes sense why people show up to you saying, oh, can I have your help? Oh, I should be more organized. That's the shame that's coming through, because we tie a lot of rules, made up rules that we have around how we should behave around money. Like, we should be better with it, and we should be organized, and we should have enough for a rainy day, and all these other expectations that we place on it. And then I think as well, there's that whole label situation around how we label and identify ourselves with money, whether we're good with it or bad with it, or cash flow, whether we're terrible with spending, all these other things. That all comes into the money mindset side of things as well. Yeah, so tell me a little bit then, like, what do you do to help your clients when they present with these sort of money mindset issues?
I think the biggest thing is how I approach from the start. I'm very conscious about keeping things completely non-judgmental, because a lot of people come already feeling embarrassed, like you've said, and they're on a back foot. So I tend to frame it as a fresh start rather than fixing a mess. It's about clearing the decks and moving forward, not looking back and having to unpick everything to clear the backlog. And I think as well as a shift in the language, which can change how people feel. And it just makes it easier to move forward and to work with the person from there. And also make a point of normalizing it. Most of their experience isn't unusual.
You're absolutely right, though, because of this, it is completely normal. And I think that's a really important point to note, is that what we feel and experience about money is perfectly normal and
it's not
understandable. Exactly. And also, people are not alone in it. Everybody will have some thinking around it. So
and it doesn't define them. Define them as a business owner. It doesn't mean that the way their finances are has anything to do with how well they run their business. That's the way I try to be non-judgmental and keep things positive, and change my wording to try and stay on that level and build confidence, essentially, in themselves and in the process, that it can be fixed. There's nothing that's unfixable.
I think that's great. And I would say as well that in a way, you're really giving them a bit of a structure around it all. So that's taking some of that thought workload off of them as well, to give them that clarity as well. And I love the non-judgmental side of things, because that obviously is very important as well. And I would say that, like, from a coaching point of view, what I do is I would ask, like, thinking about what is the meaning that people are attaching to money, and how that might be showing up in various money patterns that they have, not just necessarily within like a bookkeeping type of thing. Is it in regards to how they spend their money in outside of the business as well, because where it shows up in one place will show up in another place as well. And I think it's important to also raise that awareness of asking, is that serving you? Like, avoidance and shame isn't necessarily serving anybody in that regard. And it's not a bad thing. So exactly what you're saying about the being non-judgmental as well is really important.
Make it a lot less scary.
Exactly, because we're all having to deal with money, aren't we? So let's make it less scary. That's a great way of putting
numbers.
it.
At the end of the day, from my side of things, for me, it's just numbers. It doesn't actually mean anything. But I guess, like you say, everybody attaches something to those numbers, and it can be inherited. From research I've done for a book idea, I did find that a lot of it can boil down to inheritance of meaning that is attached to the numbers. What people think about it, it may be just from listening to their parents, or just growing up. That's how they've grown up with money, and that's what everyone believed that was around them. That was their normal. And I think that's a big thing.
Really, that conditioning is the main thing that comes through, definitely. But ultimately, I mean, it's exactly as you say as well. Money is just numbers. It's just energy, ultimately, and is a representation of really our internal belief system, ultimately, at the end of the day. Wonderful. Oh, it was great just to have a little chat about what you do with money and mindset and the bookkeeping and everything. Thanks very much, Joanne.
Thank you.